Hi, and welcome to Allie Talks About Education. Today we're talking about Web 2.0 tools and applications with a fellow colleague and friend of mine, Heather Eaton. Hi, Heather.
Hello, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good. Where are we calling from?
I'm currently in Avondale, Arizona.
Okay. And do you
Very
teach?
hot.
Very hot.
Yes,
What do you teach?
yes, I've been teaching for 10 years and I teach at the high school. I am a special education teacher and I teach grades 9 through 12. And the past 3 years I've taught reading.
Okay.
But next year I will be moving into teaching photography.
Great. Great. Do you use any of the Web 2.0 tools in your classroom?
Yes, I do use some of the Web 2.0 tools in my classroom. Currently, in May, I noticed that I wanted to find a way to fix when I have students doing group projects together that it never fails. One student would always forget the flash drive
Right.
at home on the day of presentations, and then you'd have four other students in meltdown because their project was going to be bad and they weren't going to get a good grade. So I really wanted to find a way to help alleviate this problem, and I found the Google Docs did that for
Right.
me. We would set up the group with a Google Doc, and they were all able to work on the same document at school, and then they could also go home and input their information at home. And then if somebody was absent, there was no need for a flash drive issue. It was all on the internet and we could
Right.
just pull it up and then the rest of the group could go ahead and present. So it
Right.
worked out really
Yeah,
well.
that's great. That's great. What about Twittering? Have you ever used Twitter with your students? Or do you currently
I haven't
personally
used
use it?
Twitter with, yeah, I haven't used Twitter with my students yet. I currently use it personally and I love it. It allows me to kind of get my tweets out to everyone in messages or if something's happened, and it's an effective way for me to do that quickly. But I could foresee using it with my students considering they all have cell phones.
Yes.
If we needed to report to the computer lab or report to a meeting in the lecture hall or report to the gym, that it would be quick and easy and I could just send out the tweet and they would know exactly where to go and they could just meet me up there. They wouldn't have to come all the way to my classroom and then spend, 5, 10 more minutes wasting time getting to where I needed them to be.
Oh,
But
very
I'm
good.
also a cheer coach and I could see using Twitter with them in the sense of if we had to cancel practice or if there was an emergency practice or we needed to meet. And it's just a quick way to get to them because sometimes the announcements overhead, they don't like saying announcements
Right. Can
and
hear them.
yeah, and you can't hear them and if somebody's in the gym. And so it would just be a real effective way to get the message to them quickly.
Oh, that's good. Do you use any other Web 2.0 tools that you can think of?
I also, along with Google Docs, I used Extra
Oh,
Normal
yeah?
last year with the text to speech. If you can type, you can make a movie.
Oh, wow.
And what I had is I had my students, because we did a lot with like setting plot character, working on characterization, and just really how to set up a story and set up to help them kind of learn how to start writing papers. And so at the end of the school year last year, I just noticed that they were all burned out. They didn't want to do anymore. It was very, do we have to be here? And so what I ended up doing was we put them in groups and we had them write scripts. They had to have a script written before they actually got to the computer, which was kind of like the carrot
Right.
because they wanted to
Absolutely.
get on the computer. And then, and we also talked about if you didn't spell things correctly, then it would say it funny.
Oh,
So they
wow.
had
You're
to be very
right.
careful with that. So it kind of hit multiple avenues. And then what they did is they made a story and they were able to present it to the class because I have a smart board in my room. So it was
Oh.
full
Oh,
screen
that's
and they
wonderful.
really enjoyed it. They were
That's a
really engaged
wonderful
and really
idea.
enjoyed it.
Um, are there any problems that hinder you from using Web 2.0 tools in your classroom?
The biggest problem right now at my district is everything is blocked. This year was the first year that they increased the firewalls and increased the web sense
Wow.
and literally things, websites that I had used even the last school year, I would go to get on them that were part of my lessons previously, and I couldn't get on them. So I was constantly having to call tech support to get them to open it, and our district has such a strict policy that you have to fill out like 3 pages of paperwork and literally, like, I mean, it's such a big hassle to get things unblocked, which is very unfortunate because there's
Right.
a lot of useful tools that we could be using to engage kids, and I can't engage them if they're blocked.
Right.
So
You're right. Well, I understand that you have a blog, and we'll be sharing that with our viewers as well. And we look forward to seeing some of your great teaching tips on that. And
Thanks.
thank you very much, Heather. And okay, this
Thank
wraps
you.
up another session of Allie Talks About Education. Next week, we're going to talk about Second Life and how to implement that into your classroom. Thank you.
thanks.